Going on. Sorry, you guys. I was supposed to do this a few hours ago, but I was catching up on my sleep. When you work the type of hours I work, your sleep pattern is completely screwed up. So I thought I would do this stream. At first, I was going to do a video about it, but I decided to go live. I feel like this is something that everybody can give their opinion on and join in on and give an honest opinion. Now, before we continue, I'm going to say this: keep the comments respectful towards everybody. We don't have to resort to name calling and disrespecting everybody. We can agree not to agree. We can disagree. We can semi agree, but keep it respectful. Everybody is welcome to chime in on this particular subject. Now, me, myself, as a guy, um, I'm 48 years old. I'll be 49 in September. I grew up in hip hop from its inception to when the first rap records. Now, it's an argument what was the actual first rap record ever put out on wax, from Rapper's Delight to some other things, because a lot of the artists like James Brown and Johnny Guitar Watson used to rhyme when they made music. So you can make an argument they were rapping. So, then I can go back to, I found some old music from like the 20s with musicians actually like rapping. I'm talking about rhyming artists from the 20s. So there goes that notion that hip hop came from, the Caribbean and all that kind of stuff. These were American acts. Hip hop was really oriented. You can make an argument from the South, from, breakaway slaves making songs rhyming about how they wanted to be liberated and free from slavery. So, it could, if you really trace back the roots of hip hop, it go all the way back. You can make an argument that the South is really responsible for creating hip hop, but that's another video for another day. But nevertheless, it didn't come from no Jamaica. Sorry, Busta Rhymes, and not disrespecting anybody from Jamaica, but and no Puerto Ricans and Latinos created hip hop. So John Leguizamo, screw you. You a damn lie. So Tony Yayo was on Drink Champs. I don't know when this. I don't know when this episode was filmed. Because I really don't watch Drink Champs like that. But I thought it would be very interesting because, you know, Tony Yayo just dismissed the whole notion of Ice Cube being a better lyricist and a better storyteller than Biggie Smalls. Listen, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not on the West Coast, East Coast bias stuff because I'm gonna tell you right now, I never took place or I never took part in that type of foolishness. I never had a place where I wanted to sit up there and say, "Oh, I'm gonna um, not like you because you from New York or you from the South or you from this place." I thought that was an ignorant time in hip hop. I thought it was very demeaning. I thought it was just stupid. And to a certain degree, you still see that a little bit, but it's not as bad as it was like in the mid '90s because that Tupac, um, Notorious B.I.G. thing, I think it was really bad, and I thought it was degrading and demeaning. And not to mention that the media played off of that and instigated a lot of that stuff. But then again, black people been getting played up against each other since the slave days, from the house Negro to the field Negro to uh, the lighter shade, darker shade, extreme darker shade, extreme lighter shade. So this has been going on for centuries. Us getting played against each other, but the East Coast West Coast thing was just terrible, and I was just really disappointed because at the end of the day, I never took the bait. As far as my musical tastes go, I always liked artists from the East Coast and the West Coast. I liked artists from the East Coast, from LL Cool J to Rakim to KRS One. you know, Heavy D, Public Enemy, the late great Guru with Gangstar, so, and rest in peace to Heavy D and some of the other, iconic hip hop artists. And then, of course, the West Coast, when NWA first came, of course, in Oakland, we was messing with Too Short, and then, shortly afterwards, MC Hammer came, and a lot of people wanted to play that role like they wasn't in the Hammer and all that kind of stuff. Hammer was doing this thing when he came out with his first LP on basically an independent label. I think it was called, what was it called? Busted Records. When he came out with Ringham and stuff, man, we used to tear them school dances up. But, so I was just tripping off Tony Yale and listening to him to dismiss the fact that Ice Cube wasn't a good storyteller as Biggie Smalls or a lyricist. I just thought that was absurd, and I just thought that Tony Yale kind of made a fool of himself to sit up there and make it look like Ice Cube couldn't hold his own. And I'm just gonna be honest with you, and just coming from a West Coast perspective, listen, Ice Cube don't get enough credit for his lyrics and his storytelling. Slick Rick was a great storyteller. Biggie Smalls was a great rapper and a great lyricist, but at the end of the day, the reason why he automatically loses to Ice Cube is because his body of work. Once again, unfortunately, Biggie Smalls passed away after Biggie Smalls passed away after two albums. And see, here's the thing. People keep forgetting about Ice Cube as a lyricist and a storyteller. Keep in mind, Ice Cube wrote Dope Man. He wrote Boys in the Hood. This is the dude that wrote I Ain't the One. Ice Cube, I mean, and even going to his first solo album. Y'all don't remember A Gangsta's Fairy Tale? Y'all don't remember Once Upon a Time in the Projects? Y'all don't remember My Summer Vacation from one of the greatest albums ever made, Death Certificate? I mean, come on, man. Tony Yale, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. It's not even, to be honest with you, and no disrespect to the late great Biggie Smalls, but it's not even close. Ice Cube made a song, I forgot what album it was on. I think it was on I Am the West album, and it was a song called No Country for Young Man. I'm talking about Ice Cube bust a whole 4-minute flow with no, I'm talking about with no hook. Today is a good day. Enough said. So for Tony Yale to sit up there and say, hell, man, come on, Tony. But then again, Tony Yale kind of don't be knowing what he talking about. It's just like the same way he liked to cape for Eminem. Because, by the way, I got to speak on what Kid Capri said about Eminem. He sounded completely dumb, but I'm going to respond to that piss-colored cornball, Kid Capri, maybe later on. But let's just keep it a buck. Ice Cube's body of work speaks volumes. Speaks volumes. It's like I said before, it's just not even close. Ice Cube, you talking about a dude that been doing this since 1985. I'm talking about Ice Cube been in the game almost 40 years. I mean, you talking about 37 years, man. Talking about 37 years since Boys in the Hood first came out. But to hear Tony Yale just try to dismiss it, Tony Yale, you know what I'm saying? He sounded crazy, and then he's tried to say hell fucking no. Like, Tony, stop it, dude. I mean, stop it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even think Biggie a better storyteller than Scarface. And Slick Rick, he was a hell of a storyteller too. Children's Story, treat her like a prostitute, and the way he Slick Rick set up treat her like a prostitute. And I mean, one thing about IQ, he didn't have to have one clever line that'll make you just think. He had just bust clever lines throughout the song. Like my summer vacation. Damn, G, the spot is getting hot. So we supposed to make a knock? Police looking at niggas through a microscope. In LA, everybody and their mama sell dope. They try to stop us. So what the fuck can I do to make a profit? Man, come on, man. Once upon a time in the projects, yo, I damn near had to rake a hoe. I knocked on the door. Who is it? It's Ice Cube, come to pay a little visit. And what's up with them niggas in the parking lot? She said, fuck them, cause they get spark a lot. I mean, do I need to say more? Do I need to go on, ladies and gentlemen? Do y'all need some more? Do I mean, for real, do I need to, I mean, little boys and girls, they all love me. Come sit on the lap of ICE and let me tell you a story or two about the punk at, man. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, y'all. Your boy. I mean, do I need to go? Oh man, I was just telling y'all, damn. Like I said, I grew up listening to this kind of stuff, and like I said before, when Cannabis made that ridiculous line saying the greatest rapper of all time died on March 9th, I was like, come on, man. You can't have two albums in and be considered the greatest rapper of all time. And then, first of all, Biggie Smalls wasn't even here when his second album got released. That's like saying that Biggie Smalls is the greatest rapper of all time. That's like saying, no, I'm just saying. That's like a dude coming out of, that's like a dude coming, out of high school. He played 3 good years. I'm talking about he averaged like 30 points a game for 3 seasons, and then he retired. You can't say he the greatest basketball player that ever played, because it come down to your body of work. It come down what you do over a long period of time. And like I said before, we don't know how good Biggie could have been, because unfortunately he lost his life after 2 albums. And keep in mind, he wasn't even here when the second album got released. Like I said, you talking about Ice Cube, you talking about 30 plus years. I mean, compared to you, it's just, you just can't even make that assessment. It's not really up for debate. And you can send this to Tony Yale, and I'll destroy Tony Yale. I'll destroy him in a debate. I'll destroy him. I'll destroy him in a debate about Eminem, and I'll destroy him in a debate about Ice Cube. And I'm gonna say this right now. Has nothing to do with no East Coast, West Coast stuff. Because let me tell you something. One of my favorite groups from the East Coast was Mobb Deep. When I say I love Mobb Deep, I'm talking about Mobb Deep. To me, they never made a bad album. I'm talking about all the way from their debut album on 4th and B-Way Records, Juvenile Hell, with Pure Pressure, which, by the way, Pure Pressure, that song is cold. Then Hit It From the Back. Then what was the other album? Hell on Earth, that was like the 3rd album. I think the infamous, but Mobb Deep had hits. And unfortunately, rest in peace to Prodigy. I'm gonna tell you right now, Mobb Deep, if they would have did a versus battle, Mobb Deep could have played 40 songs. I'm talking about Mobb Deep used to bring the heat. That's just real talk. So I ain't stuck on the East Coast, West Coast stuff. Like I said, I was never part of that, because I grew up respecting all the coasts. Like I said, from the South, from the Ghetto Boys to Scarface, Mr. Scarface. Scarface was a hell of a storyteller. Money in the power, money in the power, money in the to Money. One of my favorite Scarface songs is Money Make the World Go Round. That ain't really a story, but like, Scarface is a really underrated rapper. But that's what I'm saying. You could make an argument that Biggie wasn't a better storyteller than Scarface. Scarface used to, like, when you would listen to Scarface and Ice Cube rap, you could really visualize what they'd be talking about. You know, even from my mind is playing tricks on me and stuff. So that's why Tony Yale can't say stuff like that, because he sounds clueless. Oh yeah, yeah. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. About, I'm not happy about the actual fight itself with Tyson Fury. He need to give up that belt. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later. I'm gonna like really focus on this right now. But no, but I'm just saying, as far as like hip hop goes, because I'm gonna tell you who's a lousy storyteller. Eminem. That's another reason why Eminem ain't the GOAT, or why I don't have Eminem like in my top 10, which, like I say, um, Eminem ain't no good storyteller. As far as his lyrics go, Eminem is a solid lyricist. Eminem did have some hot bars he did drop, but to make it look like he didn't just gave us like mind-boggling bars and stuff, that's a falsehood. That's a untruth. Now he did come up with that clever line on I don't give a fuck, where he say it's Slim Shady, brain dead like Jan Brady. That was pretty good. Then the line he dropped on I never knew why, what he said about Sonny Bono. But like I said, Eminem then had songs where he just didn't say nothing, where he just dropped a lot of dry bars. They didn't make sense, and they were just borderline whack. But I don't know why people feel like they have to be a attack dog or a watchdog for Eminem when you criticize him. But yeah, Eminem ain't no good storyteller. And if you want to resignate a song where he basically talking about he want to do away with his mother and his wife, then well, if that's the best he could do, then once again my point is proven about Eminem. What I've been saying, I laugh at the fact that a lot of these Eminem fans think they can come on your channel and try to intimidate you and try to bully you. First of all, I ain't worried about nobody on the opposite side of a computer or a phone. Like, for real. Stop it. You're not scaring or intimidating nobody. So I'm just saying. But yeah, getting back to the Biggie Smalls and Ice Cube thing, I think a lot of times what happens with Biggie Smalls, because he was so near and dear, and it is amazing what he did with Ready to Die, because Ready to Die is a classic album. Love that album. Don't like it, love it. And Biggie Smalls did come with one of the greatest lines I ever heard of the song, where he say, "Beat motherfuckers like Ike beat Tina." That was cold. And where he say, "I got something for the blue suits. I'll make you prove that is bulletproof." So, nah, Biggie dropped some clever bars. He really did. Warning, that was a hell of a song. That was a hell of a song. The video, that was a hell of a song. But I'm sorry, as far as storytelling go, man, Ice Cube got that on lock. He don't get enough credit for his storytelling. Keep in mind, he has written movie scripts. He co-wrote Friday. Okay? People got to remember that. People have to remember that. Well. Well, here's the thing about Eminem that we need to start reminding white people of, who love to come on here and try to tell black people, "Oh, you guys just have to accept the truth. Eminem is one of the greatest rappers ever." Well, keep in mind, if it wasn't for black rappers, they wouldn't be a Eminem, because Eminem said he was heavily inspired, and he said this on his songs. on that song, the Yellow Brick Road, he said he listened to a lot of Big Daddy Kane. He also said he was inspired, I think, by Redman and stuff. So once again, to you white boys that love to come on here trying to call yourself trying to chastise us brothers about Eminem, which nobody really cares what your white asses think. You really don't have an opinion when it comes to talking hip hop as far as where somebody should be placed. You don't have that right. You don't get to do the Eminem is in your top five or he has to be in your top five because a white guy said it's no, sorry. Just because a white guy said it doesn't mean that it's factual, and y'all need to get out of that. We don't care. So no. I'm just telling the truth. If it wasn't for Dr. Dre, a black man, you white boys, you three teeth trailer park trash crackers wouldn't have and you incest infected, trailer park white boys and white trash women, you wouldn't have your Eminem if it wasn't for Dr. Dre, a black man. So there you have it. One way or another, black people is responsible for your precious Eminem. So you think about that when you come on here trying to lecture black people about Eminem. Oh, I love doing this to y'all. I love doing this to y'all. I love doing this. I love doing this. So just remember that. I bet you some white dude go listen to this. He gonna be like, God damn it. Yep. Yep. So I had to educate y'all or educate y'all. But yeah, I don't even have Marshall Bruce Matters like in my top 20. When somebody said name 10 rappers better than Eminem, I can name 20 right off the top. Like, for real. Eminem is not better than Ice Cube. He's not better than LL Cool J. He's not better than KRS-One. He's not better than Guru. He ain't even better than E40 or Too Short. So I mean that's 7 right there. Yuckmouth is better than Eminem. Redman is better than Eminem. Method Man is better than Eminem. Okay, that's 9 right there. MC Lyte is better than Eminem. So that's just 10 to start with. I mean, should I carry on? Snoop Dogg is better than Eminem. Scarface is better than Eminem. See, I'm past I'm past 10 right now. I don't even need to go on. I mean, for real, do you Eminem stands want some more? I know you don't. I hope you don't. I already named. I'm just saying. You don't want to have this conversation with me, and don't come on here talking about record sales. Record sales don't mean nothing. Listen, I love Michael Jackson. Biggest Michael Jackson fan ever. One of them. Michael Jackson sold over 100 million albums. But does that mean Thriller is the greatest R&B album ever made? Absolutely not. Is Bad the second greatest R&B album ever made? Absolutely not. So that doesn't mean that. Just means it sold a lot of records. Doesn't mean it's the best. Right now, Avatar, I think the sequel to Avatar, I think right now is the highest grossing movie of all time. Does that mean it's the greatest movie ever made? Absolutely not. So there you have it. For people that love, because that's the Eminem fans go to move. Oh, look how many records he sold. So? I mean, so? So just to beat them at their own game about color, I used a black artist. Now, let's get something straight. For people that keep saying that the Eagles has now surpassed Michael Jackson in record sales, that's a compilation album, which means they had to take a mixture of songs from different albums. So if you want to say the Eagles' greatest hits is the greatest compilation album ever sold, with their own material, then go ahead. But as far as solo album, nah, it's Michael Jackson. Bars, bars. Oh yeah, I forgot about Jadakiss. I forgot about Who can forget about Jadakiss? That's what I'm saying. If Biggie would, and then come on, let's not forget the great Tupac. Now I know 50 Cent was on. 50 Cent tried to say that Eminem, Tupac lacked certain things that rappers like. At the end of the day, 50 Cent is a buck dancing ass coon, and that's all it come down to. 50 Cent is a master buck dancer. Any nigga that sit up there and say he think of a white man as a form of a master, he said Eminem was his master. Like, and I'm gonna say this right now. Ain't nobody scared of no 50 Cent. All that stuff about he was talking about he wanted to punch Nick Cannon for talking about Eminem. Well, y'all can send this to 50 Cent. Tell 50 Cent to come punch me. Tell him to come punch me and watch me flip 50 Cent on his head. So with no security. So yeah. So I'm just saying. I'm not saying I want no smoke with 50, but I bet I'll say something about Eminem right to his face and I'll dare him to punch me. And 50 Cent need to be kind of aware of Nick Cannon. Don't be fooled by him making songs called Gigolo, because I can tell you right now, Nick Cannon is affiliated with those Linkin Park blood niggas. So Nick Cannon is really like a blood. So I'm just letting it be known. His daddy is one of the original Linkin Park bloods. Like Nick Cannon just don't be like flaunting and flossing that around, but Nick Cannon is a Linkin Park blood. Real talk. Cause I can go to San Diego right now. That's real talk. So all that stuff 50 Cent be talking about, he just gonna run up on Nick Cannon and think it's gonna be sweet. He's sadly mistaken. I'm from California, so I know what's up. Oh yeah, 50 Cent got destroyed by Kiss. And like I said, Eminem ain't better than Nas. Nas is one of the greatest lyricists ever. But this is what I'm telling you guys, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I'm telling you guys. This is what I've been saying. I've been saying this for years about Eminem. And I had to say this about 50 Cent. That dude really get emotionally emotionally unstable. And you shouldn't feel that way, because at the end of the day, those are Eminem's battles, not his. Eminem, a 50-year-old man. Eminem can speak for himself. That's just real talk. If Eminem don't be responding to that stuff, why is 50 Cent talking about, oh, I want to fight him? Yeah, you sound like a slave. You sound like them dudes, Mr. Cooper, good white folks. Like, man, come on. Like, come on, Curtis. Really, like, man, you sound bad. You sound, I mean, come on, man. You said man, you're not sounding too stable, man. You're not sounding too like, man, come on, man. Not to mention that, you were documented. You know what I'm saying? You owe paperwork. No matter how much you want to try to pretend, dude. You documented. You documented for being a finger pointer. You Ray Liotta from Goodfellas. Mr. Hill, could you point out the guy in the court? Y'all remember at the end of Goodfellas, right? Where that was like I told my correspondent Kobe, I told Goodfellas for that was like the most epic snitch moment I ever seen in cinematic history, where they made Ray Liotta's character Henry Hill like point dude out. He said, "Do you see him in that courtroom? Do you see him in the courtroom?" Yeah. Could you point him out? He made him. He made him point his finger. Hey, that DA was like, "Oh no, ain't no way you getting out of this. You gonna snitch, and you gonna snitch for real. It ain't none of this. Oh, I had like we been." Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Curtis be looking real weak. Oh man, oh man, Eminem is better than any. Eminem is better than a lot of black rappers. Like, bro, why you bringing up color, bro? Nobody brought up color. You the one bringing up color, and that's what I'm saying. So he the one making it about race. I didn't know when. So when did it come into play to where Eminem is off limits to where you have to like everything Eminem put out? There you have it. And that's another thing that be pissing me off. Eminem cornball incest fans be coming on here acting like you have to like everything. If you say, well, I don't like this particular Eminem. Oh, you just don't like him because he's white. What? And then I asked this question. So let me get this straight. I don't have to like every album that's put out by a black artist, but if I don't like an Eminem album, I'm some kind of black supremacist or racist, whatever the hell that means, even though there ain't no such thing as a black racist, but whatever. I just never understood that. So let me get this straight. So if I don't like a album by a black artist, that's okay, according to white people. And once again, them telling us and trying to give us an opinion. I said a couple of years ago, y'all remember when I trashed Jay Electronica's album? Because it was trash. It was garbage. It was trash. It was hot garbage. Didn't have nothing to do with him being black. It was because the album was trash. Just like I said, Busta Rhymes' Anarchy album was one of the worst albums I ever heard in my life. But then again, he was trying to get off of Elektra. So that's why he made that album so terrible. So let me get this straight. I'm a racist if I don't like an album by a white artist. But if I don't like a black artist album, I'm not considered a coon. So it's okay. You don't hear no white people coming on my videos when I trash an album by a black artist, but then when you say something about Eminem, here they come bringing a pasty face, you know what I'm saying, powdered milk, you know what I'm saying, asses on my channel, trying to pop off at the mouth. Like they checking me. So I'm gonna say this again. You can't check me. Maybe we should do that to them. Maybe if a white person say, well, I don't like Snoop Dogg. Oh, you just don't like his album because he's black. Maybe we should give him a taste of that. Maybe I'm gonna start doing that to white people. If a black dude come out with an album and a white dude say he don't like, oh, you just don't like it because he's black. And then they go, so this has nothing to do with race. Well, it don't have nothing to do with race. And we say we don't like Eminem stuff. Eminem ain't made good music. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Eminem ain't made good music in almost 20 years. And then you have to have a certain type of taste to be able to tolerate Eminem's music. Eminem ain't nobody you can play at no party. Who in the hell would play Eminem at a party or at a club? I'm just keeping it a buck. See, nobody don't want to have those real conversations. I'm from East Oakland, man. Eminem expired after his second album. Nobody in the Bay bumped no damn Eminem. Nobody. I can go to any hood in Oakland. Nobody ain't gonna play no Eminem. I'm not speaking for every non-black and all that kind of stuff, but I can tell you right now, I'm well traveled around the Bay Area. I can go to Frisco. I can go to Sacramento. I go to Sacramento. I can go to Stockton. I can go probably as far as Fresno. I can tell you right now, ain't nobody bumping no Eminem. I could go to probably Atlanta right now. Don't nobody be bumping no. It's like what Gucci Mane said. Nobody don't bump no Eminem. Nobody in the streets, on the block, on the turf be playing no Eminem. I'm just saying. Oh yeah, man. Shout out to the great Rapping Ron, man. Rest in peace to the great Rapping Ron. By the way, a lyrical freestyle master. So you know, I'm just keeping it a buck. Man, let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you, listen. Listen, Chase. I done told this story before, and this is just real talk. Back in 1990, 98, 99 or something, when Eminem first was making his rounds, Eminem came to Oakland. Okay, he came to Oakland, and if you from Oakland, it was this club. It used to be called Du Chalet's, and it's like on Broadway. It's like right before I'm talking about. It's pretty much in Jack London Square. It's right across the street from Everett and Jones, Everett and Jones Barbecue. Okay, and this is like right before you get to Jack London Square. Okay, so I remember we used to my brother used to do parties and stuff, and he used to host every once in a while and do some stuff like when I was like rapping and stuff. So, okay. I remember when Eminem first came out. Now a lot of people don't know Eminem's first single, it wasn't My Name Is. Actually, Eminem put out that song I just don't give a fuck, and it was in black and white. That was the first song Eminem put out when he got signed to Aftermath. And it was a black and white video. But the real single that was supposed to launch the album was My Name Is. So Eminem came to Oakland and he performed. I'm talking about he sung that song, Hi My Name Is. And I'm talking about people just looked at him. I mean, I thought the beat and stuff was cool and stuff because Dr. Dre did it. Man, people looked at him and he like got through singing that song and he like walked out of there. I'm talking about he was gone and let people was like, I was like, but I knew who he was and stuff. So I'm talking about he sung that song and he got up out of there. He didn't stay to talk to nobody or nothing. And I was just cracking up. I'm talking about he got up out of there. I'm talking about dude got up out of there. So I'm just saying. But I did buy the first album. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like he ain't never been that dude. It's like I don't know why MCs feel like they have this like obligation to protect him from the world. So I'm just saying, and it was a lot of women up in there and stuff. It was some fine ass women up in there too. They was not feeling that dude, and that's what I'm saying. I ain't never been on no date, taking a girl to the movies or something to ride with the homies on a mission or something. Or we just ride out. Ain't nobody ever said, "Hey man, bump some Eminem, man. What y'all want to hear?" I ain't never had no girl say, "I want to hear some Eminem." Man, if you play Eminem and you on a date with a girl, she probably gonna say, "I want to go home. Drop me off at home." She go like, I'm just saying. I'm just telling you. She gonna be like, hey. So they'll just say, hey, a troll on here. Hey, a troll on here talking about are you on crack? Is your mama, is that bitch on crack? Now, is that white bitch on crack? Now. So is your mama on crack? Yeah, it's easy to talk shit over the internet. You would say that to my face, cause I kick your Adam's apple down your fucking throat, bitch. And if you think I'm playing, I'll be in Vegas in 2 weeks. Pull up, and you will get stretched out. So since you coming on here trolling, since you all troll, since you trolling, since you trolling. But yeah, no, but I'm just saying, nobody don't bump Eminem. No, nobody don't bump Eminem in the hood. Like Eminem is like what you call a guilty pleasure stuff. Like I said, he done made some decent stuff, but just like Eminem then lost rap battles and stuff, he didn't got out rapped on songs. He didn't got out rapped on songs like man, Sticky Fingers. He destroyed Eminem on Remember Me. Like I said, I'm just keeping it a bug. It ain't like people, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like it ain't like people hating. It's just that people don't like to hear the truth. So, so I'm just saying. I just had to get that out there. But like I said, I like the fact that some people on my channel trolling, you know, I like the fact that people on my channel trolling because keep the hate coming because the more you talk out the side of your neck, the worse it's gonna get from me Ether Marshall Bruce Matters. See, the thing is, I know a lot about Eminem, and I'm gonna get back to the Biggie Tony Yale thing, but I'm gonna spend some time talking about Eminem, making it even worse than somebody trying to troll my channel. Since you know, since you coming on here trolling, I'm finna make it even worse. But that's just the fact about Eminem. Nobody bumps Eminem. He like somebody you play when you by yourself. And like I said before, I bought his albums though, but I couldn't play his stuff like people will look at man, you listen to Eminem? I have to explain myself why I got an Eminem CD in my car. So I'm just keeping, you know what I'm saying? I'm really, you know what I'm saying? I'm really into the hip hop. I'm really into the culture. And I gave the white boy his credit. Like I said, he made some decent stuff. But as far as him like being an all-time great and all that stuff, nah, man. He didn't drop clever bars before, but he ain't just said monumental stuff to where it just stick in your head. Cause like I said before, Biggie didn't came up with more monumental catch lines than Eminem have, and he only 2 albums in. Eminem, like I said before, Eminem, he stay afloat because of his reputation, because his affiliation with Dr. Dre. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, if you really listen, people still buy Eminem albums because they still think that his music is gonna have a Dr. Dre beat. And Dr. Dre really don't be producing for Eminem. I don't think Dr. Dre has really produced a full-fledged Eminem album. I think like in a while. And one thing about me, I listen to albums. I still listen to his stuff. I did a review of his last album, and I told the honest to God truth about it. Didn't sell good. And Eminem's music, like CJ Goodfellas said, his music didn't age well. Y'all know how bananas is, when they green and nice and stuff. And then after a week, if you keep the bananas like in a, if you don't keep them in a certain spot, the peel and turn brown, and then and banana get all smushy and stuff inside. As soon as you peel it, it just like, that's how Eminem's music is. It just didn't stay ripe. Like you listen to Busta Rhymes, by the way, Busta Rhymes is a better rapper than Eminem. You listen to Busta Rhymes, you still like thinking about some of the stuff Busta Rhymes did. You still thinking about the leaders of the new school stuff. See, that's the thing. What make you an icon is when you have songs that got made well over this amount of time that can translate from one generation to another. That's why Snoop Dogg is probably the most popular rapper of all time. Snoop Dogg is a world-renowned name. Not saying that he the greatest rapper of all time, even though to me he is. He one of them. But he probably the most popular rapper of all time, because I'm talking about everybody knows who this dude is. And you may not even have heard or bought one of his albums, but you just know who he is. And he's done a good. And to be honest with you, Snoop Dogg should be a billionaire. But I looked to see Snoop Dogg is worth around $200 million. But he's still a wealthy man. But still, I'm just saying. You think about Snoop Dogg. 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 You think about, man, you think about all the way going back to like 92. Deep cover. Then you think about the doggy style. Then you think about some of the stuff he made on No Limit. You think about some. That's what I'm saying with Snoop Dogg. Then you think about the group albums. That's what you call being synonymous. That's what you call having a place in history. Then you think about the movies that Snoop Dogg had been in. Snoop Dogg played a very pivotal role in Starsky and Hutch. He didn't been in TV shows. So that's what I'm saying. His place is secure. And that's the point that I was trying to make. And going back, it's about body of work. So that's all. That's what I'm saying. It's about what you done and how you transition and how your music transition from one generation to another. It's people that's 5 years old that know who Snoop Dogg is, and that speaks volumes about his body of work and what he's done. From people from our generation to when he came out in 92. Same thing with Ice Cube. Ice Cube's music transition, and it's synonymous with older generation to the new generation. It's people that's 12 years old that still remember, that's talking about today is a good day. And don't get me wrong, Juicy has a place too. But let's talk about Juicy. Let's talk about Juicy. And let's talk some facts about Juicy. Now, I already know somebody gonna bring this up, but I'll go on and bring it up. There's a question about where Juicy really came from. There's a question about where Juicy came from by Biggie Smalls. Some people accuse Puff Daddy of stealing that concept from a Mississippi rapper, and I heard his version, and it is some similarities. And they saying Puffy heard that song, and then he kind of like gave the idea to Biggie Smalls. Because if you've seen the movie, now you know when it comes to movies it could be hit or miss as far as facts go. Because now from what I heard, which is the absolute truth, Biggie Smalls wanted to release Machine Gun Funk, which, by the way, that's one of my all-time favorite songs by Biggie Smalls. That beat was bananas. But then Puffy brought him the Matumbe album, and the Matumbe album had that Juicy song on there. And he had to talk Biggie into recording that song. He didn't even want to record Juicy, and then he recorded Juicy. They put that out as a song, and then the rest is history. But they're saying that he took the concept from a Mississippi rapper. I forgot what the name. I forgot what the dude's name is. I cannot remember what the dude's name is, but damn, he likes some Mississippi rapper. But that's supposed to be where Puffy got the concept for Juicy. Y'all can look it up. You can go to the YouTube search engine and be like, did Biggie Smalls steal Juicy from a Mississippi rapper? But that's what they're saying. I thought about doing a solo video about it because I thought it would be very interesting. I thought it would be very interesting to do a video about that, because about the concept of Juicy and where it came from. But that seemed to be the rumor. Like I said, there's no proof to it or no validity to it, but that's what people been saying, and that's where they saying that Puffy got that idea from. Yeah, Matumbe. So, with that being said, I wanted to get back to what I was saying. But as far as Juicy go, they saying that Juicy, the original concept, came from a Mississippi rapper. And it's on YouTube. And it's some similarities, but at the end of the day, creativity is creativity. It's basically how you take something and you rearrange it. So that's supposed to be the story, but I'm thinking about doing a video about it, making a comparison. But the only problem is when you do those comparisons, when you play the music, you got to go through all this red tape with YouTube and stuff about, copyrights and all that kind of stuff. This is copy, you can't use copyright. That's why. So I kind of want to play the example from the Mississippi rapper. I think his name was B1 or something. And then his version, and then play Juicy, Biggie Smalls version. And then you guys draw your own conclusion. But anyway, appreciate you guys for tapping in. I'm out.